discuss what is this main artery of the information superhighway.
Every business, no matter how large, no matter how small, will be on the internet in the year 2000.
In this video, you're going to see the future.
Microsoft's CEO just declared war on Google publicly.
Let's face it, Google dominates it. We are thrilled to be here launching Bing to compete.
But there's something more here, because Satya is about to pull a genius business move on his rival, Google CEO Sundar Pichai. And Google knows it. Now they're worried, fumbling, and making mistakes like they never have before.
Gonna move on. Can't find the phone.
Alphabet has lost $100 billion in market share.
Google employees criticizing their own company on an internal forum after shares fell nearly 10% this week.
Seeming like a rushed reaction to what Microsoft is doing with ChatGPT.
Perhaps for the first time ever, Google has some real competition, and it's heating up because Satya is getting feisty.
They're the 800-pound gorilla on this, which is what they are, and I hope that with our innovation, they will definitely want to come out and show that they can dance, and I want people to know that we made them dance.
Dance, you fat.
So I want to take a look inside of Satya's brain, break down his strategy, and explain how he's in fact gonna make Google dance.
We are going through a period of historic economic, societal, and technological change. Organizations in every industry are turning to you and your digital capability to help them do more with less.
These are the only 3 CEOs that Microsoft has had over its almost 50-year lifespan. And the first is Bill, who we all know, the guy who put the microchips in our vaccines. Kidding. The second, Steve Ballmer, the guy who took over from Bill Gates, and he just got really excited about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Ballmer! Get up! Come on!
That's true, that's really him. Unsurprisingly, he kind of ran the company into the ground, which we'll cover in a moment. Then we have the third CEO, who we're here to talk about today, Microsoft's savior, Satya Nadella.
Microsoft has named Satya Nadella as its new CEO, replacing Steve Ballmer.
This is a graph of Microsoft's stock performance since it went public in 1986. From the year 1986 to 2000, Bill Gates was the CEO. He made Microsoft the dominant player in the personal computer industry by creating all the products we know. The Windows operating system, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and just his overall ability to jump over chairs.
Is it true that you can leap over a chair from a standing position?
It depends on the size of the chair.
Yes!
Dear God, it's beautiful.
Bill Gates grew the share price from 9 cents per share in 1986 to over $58 per share in the year 2000. Then, from 2000 to 2014, Mr. Steve Ballmer took over as CEO.
Developers! Yes!
Yeah. That's Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer missed some major opportunities, like the rise of mobile devices and the shift to cloud computing. And this is where Microsoft began to struggle to keep up with its tech buddies.
Hey, wait up! Hey guys, wait for me!
But because of this, Microsoft's share price totally stagnated during this period, hovering around $30 to $40 per share. Then, get this, the day that Steve Ballmer announced his retirement, the stock went up 9%, probably because he basically missed everything. I mean, poor Steve Ballmer. He's just too easy to make fun of. I mean, here's what he said when the iPhone launched.
$500? And I said, that is the most expensive phone in the world, and it doesn't appeal to business customers because it doesn't have a keyboard, which makes it not a very good email machine.
That one didn't age too well, did it? But you know, don't worry too much about Steve. He's doing okay since he left Microsoft. 2014 until now, Satya Nadella took over as CEO of Microsoft in 2014, and he's been crushing it ever since. I mean, look at that freaking graph. Because Satya got what Steve Ballmer missed. Satya shifted Microsoft's focus towards cloud computing and now artificial intelligence. He's also been on a shopping spree.
Microsoft's reported $10 billion investment.
$26.2 billion US dollars.
LinkedIn, $26.2 billion in 2016. GitHub, $7.5 billion in 2018. And right now, they're still going through the process of trying to buy the biggest acquisition they've ever done, Activision Blizzard for a whopping $68.7 billion. But then, after all of that, he finally saw an opportunity to take on his rival. An opportunity to give the neglected Bing search engine the glory it deserves, and OpenAI was his ticket to success. In 2019, Microsoft invested $1 billion into OpenAI. The weird part is that about half the investment was in Azure credits. Azure. It's kind of hard to say. Azure is Microsoft's cloud computing platform, but cloud computing is data storage and servers and infrastructures and all that stuff. It's what all the software we use runs on. Amazon has AWS and Google has Google Cloud, then Azure is Microsoft's version. What is surprising though is that though Microsoft has done a really bad job with Bing, they are already crushing it with Azure, so they have 21% of the market share right now, with only Amazon beating them. OpenAI needs a ton of computing power to be able to run ChatGPT and all their other AI projects.
The most important thing is what we've done over the last 4 years is to actually build out the core infrastructure on which OpenAI is built. So we have had to essentially evolve Azure to be pretty specialized AI infrastructure on which OpenAI is built.
But then fast forward to January 2023 and Microsoft invests $10 billion buying up 49% of the company. Then just a few weeks later, Microsoft showcases Bing's new AI powers, while Google flounders, losing $100 billion in market cap. And now Satya's been on this media tour with his product unveiling, and frankly, he's been loving it. He just looks so friggin' excited because he has a plan for domination. You see, Google search is literally the best business ever created, and this is not an exaggeration. In 2022, Google did $162 billion in revenue with 50 to 60% gross margins. Now, if that doesn't mean much to you, just know that no other business comes close to doing that scale with those fat margins. And the reason we have Chrome and Google Maps and Google Docs and Sheets and all of that is because Google search makes so much flippin' money, and Google has to do something with that cash. So they make this nice software for free to kind of help us forget that they're making so much cash off us from search. But now Microsoft wants to take a chunk out of Google's cash cow.
Search was the most profitable category there is on planet Earth.
As we all know, Google dominates about 85 to 90% of search. We Google it. Bing, Yahoo, and DuckDuckGo do not even come close. But the thing is, Bing doesn't actually have to overtake Google to win. It just needs to make Google worse.
Very few times in history do opportunities like that show up, where you suddenly can start a new race with a base where every day is incremental GM for you, and someone else has to play to protect it all, every user and all the GM. So therefore, all I need is a few more users, and someone else that I'm competing in has to keep all of their users and all of their gross margin. I'm looking forward to that.
GM here means gross margin, and what Satya's referring to here is the mind-blowing 50 to 60% gross margins that Google has. And this is actually key to Microsoft's strategy, and they laid this out to investors in their most recent investor conference call. The point was made very clear here on slide 12.
For every 1 point of share gain in the search advertising market, it's a $2 billion revenue opportunity for our advertising business.
Did you catch that? If Microsoft gains just 1% market share from Google, it makes an extra $2 billion. So for perspective, right now Microsoft is making just $3.2 billion from search. So a 1% gain will almost double it. Satya is on a mission to knock down Google from its complete monopoly over the most profitable category on planet Earth.
Search.
Search. And he's going to do it 1 percentage point at a time. And this is why Satya was so excited. Before he was CEO, he was the head of Bing. And now he's ready for revenge. Google toppled its search competitors in the 2000s. Overture, Excite, Alta Vista, and Ask Jeeves, and many, many more. The race was on, and Google won. But right now, Satya's triumphing and Sundar's trembling. The question is whether Google will become irrelevant, like the Encyclopedia of Britannica or the Yellow Pages. I mean, these things could change at any moment. New startups have seen the chinks in Google's armor. Andy Search, Perplexity, Neeva, they're all new AI-based search engines, and they want a piece of that most profitable category too. So who will win? Microsoft, Google, or does AI have something else in store for us?